Ah, good day, everybody. It's Japanese Irish Highlander, and if I look a little peaked and out of breath, well, that's because I've been trying to chisel out the ice and compacted ice and snow that we've had in my driveway. Last week we had a kind of a big storm, which was not snow, but it was freezing rain, and then it decided to freeze up, and then it solidified. So rather crazy that it did that there. And at my place of work, it's the same situation. So besides the shout out to Elmsdale Landscape, thanks guys. They put down like something like 6 tons of salt up at the airport, and so that's good. They did that. So today, on my errands, I was actually able to find count 'em, two bags of sand. I used the one that we had from last winter so that I could get out to work this week. So I bought one for my family to use, and I bought one for myself to use on my vehicle. So now today, it's like when I was in Nunavut and I was excited and saying, hey, it's so much warmer today. It's only 0. It's 0. It's like I remember the Rick Mercer skit where they were talking about Environment Canada putting like +1 on the weather forecast to get people excited and happy, right? So it's 0, meaning that between the sun and the actual warmth getting up, I was actually able to chisel out and get some of that stuff done. Now, crazy thing enough, the shovel I had to use is actually the garden shovel I have. And I was talking to Canadian Tire people, and people are so desperate with running out of ice picks and everything else that they've been using like metallic gardening tools, because no matter where you are, there is no way you can clean this stuff up. It's compacted and everything else. So looking ahead, I mean, I'm recording this on February the 20th, right? So that means, that's my Soviet Union flag that I put up for when I'm doing my Cold War games and or Eastern Front games. And on the other side, I have my NATO flag, and I have my Canadian flag in here too. So I'm all covered from my flags. And then I got my other flags and my Nunavut flag there, which I still haven't gotten a flagpole for. So maybe at some point I will. This to show you. That's how sweaty I got in doing what I was doing there. And so one of the interesting things with my new job, I really don't want to fully say what I'm doing. I'm still with the commissioners, but suffice to say, it is at the airport, and I've lost actually probably about 15 pounds since I started there about a month ago, which is pretty cool. It's a lot of walking involved, which I really like, and I'm hoping to keep up with it because this body, like the flesh, needs to come off the frame a bit. There's a bit too much here, and seeing as I'm in my early 50s, I really don't need to be pushing against the old ticker and everything else. That's because there's not an extended warranty on body parts, so to speak, right? I mean, we haven't gotten to the part where they make artificial parts to put into people, right? Mechanical stuff, that's unlike what they had in the film RoboCop back in 1987, right? You could get like a Toshiba heart or something like that, right? Anyway, so I had realized that I hadn't done that. No. The other thing too is I haven't been out in the garage here for probably since the start of the winter. This year has been colder than last year. Last year was slightly warmer. This year, yeah, it's kind of telling you we're a little. And here's the crazy thing. I just noticed I'm steaming. So my breath and my body heat, if you can see, there's some vapor coming off me. Because, yeah, my body heat, yeah, there it is. I don't know if that was my breath. It might be a combination of both, right? But wow, okay. Uh, yeah. So anyway, um, little hobby projects that have been going on. Most of my stuff is still centered on the World War III Team Yankee series. I am itching to get back into my black powder stuff as well, so I'm going to be working on that. Going forward into the spring and that, I'd like to try to do some more camping, modern camping this year. Also, I might be able to do a couple more reenactment events as well. So we'll see what it is. My work schedule for this year, and because of my commitment to my new position, I'm actually not going to cadet camp, which, okay, that's fine. I'll try to go again next year. Plus, I'm also trying to finish my my officer's training course, which I have to get on that next week and try to get on that. And I have about, I would think about another 3 weeks to complete it, but I only have one section to do, so I should be able to get it. But I really gotta work on that as well. As such, cadet wise, I'm still getting to training nights as best I can, although I was feeling under the weather last night. That's why I didn't go to my training night last night, which I felt kind of bad about. But luckily the staff and my CO understand, which thank you very much, everyone. So yeah. So anyway, I've done a little bit of remodeling in here too. My front the doors there, I took all the artwork off because A, some of the stuff was molding. B, it had its day. I also took some of my other really nicer artwork off the other wall behind the NATO flag. So my my thin red line print is now in my room in the house, and also some of the other posters I've put over here. I'm going to see about putting them up in my room later, kind of decorating there. Yeah, just because you kind of have a change of idea of what you want to do and stuff like that, and going from there. Yeah, so just wanted to do that. There's just that's what's going on. I'm kind of running out of an idea here of talking, but suffice to say, once the warmer weather comes, I'm going to be getting on this. Now, the big thing that I was able to do up to is at Christmas time, a buddy of mine who is a fellow collector, I was able to trade some stuff with him, and also paid a little bit for a very large amount of 15 millimeter kits. Which means that I now have a more or less very good Africa Corps force. I definitely have a very good 8th Army force. The only thing I'm lacking for both is infantry. So when I'm doing games, I'll just sub in my 172 figures just as stand-ins. But at some point, I'm going to see if I can put together at least one infantry company for both armies. But the other thing that I got along with the vehicles were actually a set of German Fallschirmjäger, which are in 15 mil, and I'm slowly basing them, and I'm going to paint them. But that's obviously taking time. So I got to find the time between work and that, and just I might get on some of it tonight. Now, this morning, that's the other thing too about my new position. I work permanent nights. So it's still a rotation schedule, which is nice. And that means that every second weekend I get 3 days off, which is great. So I get like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, which is good. So I go back to work tomorrow night. So that's why I was trying to get some stuff done today. Yesterday I was just so beat I basically slept. And I woke up this morning at 4 o'clock and I could not get back to sleep till finally at 7 o'clock. I finally rolled out of bed, put myself together, and I went, did some stuff. So yeah, so that's what's going on. So hobby-wise, yep, more or less my North Africa force is good. Also, that big bunch of gear I get. Also, there was a very large amount of World War II Soviet gear. So that means I now have stuff that I can mix in with my Team Yankee / Second War stuff. So I now have Eastern Front. Now, what I'm thinking on doing for that is it's going to be very much a late war force. So my 15 millimeter kits, which I will do up, will be very late war. So I'm going to focus on January to May of 45 for that, because there's some really interesting kits that the British can use, such as the Chaffee. I believe that's how I pronounce the M24, I think it is, the M24 Chaffee. They were used by the 11th Armored Division, I believe. That's what the markings that I've seen on them, as recce. And the other thing I like about those is they just look a really cool kit. But I have to wait until I can get on top of a few things before I'm going to buy that. Plus, I need to get a plastic infantry company for them. My Czechoslovakian force. I now have I'm going to build an entire infantry company from a plastic soldier company kit that I got, and the AT-3 missiles that are in that will go towards one of my other Cold War factions, be it the Iraqis, Cubans, or whoever was using them, besides everybody else. At one point, I was actually seriously considering getting rid of my entire 172 World War II collection, and then I said, with the amount of money I invested in it, I think I should keep it. But at some point, obviously I was talking with my children, and neither of them are interested in this stuff, which I can understand. So at some point, I will have to make sure that all this goes to another collector, or donate it to, I don't know, some other group that might like it. Go from there, because my collection is pretty extensive, and yeah, there's not really much else I need to add to stuff. It's the one thing about us collectors when we get into this stuff, you kind of have to remind yourself, it's like, how many pairs of shoes did Imelda Marcos need? Kind of the same way with me, like how many model kits do you... So that's why actually, if anyone has noticed, I have not actually added 172 kits to my collection, because I'm just like, yeah, there's enough of that. And including some of the kits that I bought, like I have down here there's three T-30-45s. I got a 122 gun. I got some First War Russians, which I'm still working on. There's an SU-100, and some of this stuff. The SU-100. I believe some of those kits somehow got busted up in transit coming back from Japan. Also, I sold some to a Russian friend of mine, and I actually have to fix some of the kits that he bought from me, because unfortunately he had a cat that attacked his kits. So anyway, but just taking a look at my gaming table. Yeah, the last thing I did on here back in the fall was a desert game, and that didn't, well, it more or less didn't finish because um, I started to increase my 15 millimeter force. So yeah, you still see now. Also, I dug all of these boxes out. These are all of my kits because I was actually looking for a specific box of something, and slowly but surely, once the weather gets warmer, I'll be putting these all back, and voila, we'll go from there. So it's interesting because this side of this large table on the bottom is all my 172 kits, and then that side of the table is my 15 mil stuff. So get it all there. I have my First War and my Second War battle dress jackets and my original regimental coat sitting there, and my now regimental coat that actually was my dad's. It was his first regimental coat that he had built back in 1982, 83, I believe it was. I was 9 or 10 when he started doing that because we started the 84th Regiment in 1984, and last year was our 40th anniversary. So yeah, that's quite interesting. So there's might be some interesting stuff with that. Also, I got some drips and drabs of kit from other people just because I didn't have the storage space and whatever else. My library collection is still holding up pretty good, especially seeing as I got a very large amount of stuff from my dad's collection when he moved. So that was pretty interesting. So yeah, but I'm gonna need to tidy up this place come the spring because yeah, we're getting kind of interesting here. But just wanted to give a shout out because I haven't made a video for quite some time. And just wanted to say hello to anyone who's following my channel, especially any of my people up north who were asking me because as I brought back, I still have my Sonarayak Hall Beach ball cap there. So that's hanging in here. But yeah, one of the other things that is the problem with my garage is the fact that we have this rather problem that I've always had since we bought the property of having water that seeps under the doors and then obviously will freeze, and that will not rectify itself until spring, which is a month away. But anyway, just wanted to give a shout out to everybody, say hi, hello, and all that fun stuff, and we'll talk again.